Right now, an object from another star system is flying through our solar system and exhibiting behavior that challenges our understanding of physics. The object, called Threeey Atlas, demonstrates anomalies so unusual that researchers initially assumed their instruments were malfunctioning. But every diagnostic confirms the instruments are working with perfect precision, and what they're detecting suggests we may be observing something far more profound than a mere comet passing through interstellar space. Some studies suggest our solar system receives interstellar visitors as often as 7 times a year. This particular visitor, however, is fundamentally different from anything previously observed. The data streaming in shows behavior that by all accounts appears physically impossible. On September 13th, astronomers using the Atlas Survey Array in Hawaii discovered this strange object crossing the boundary into our solar system on an interstellar trajectory. At first, it seemed like another familiar visitor on an endless cosmic journey, perhaps similar to Oumuamua, the odd-shaped object that puzzled scientists in 2017, or closer to Borisov, the interstellar comet discovered in 2019. They quickly designated the new arrival as Threeey Atlas, making it officially the 3rd confirmed interstellar visitor to our cosmic neighborhood. Within weeks of discovery, however, all data revealed that Threeey Atlas was completely unlike its predecessors. It wasn't just different, but fundamentally distinct, as if bearing a riddle that challenged humanity's existing understanding of the universe. The scientific community found itself confronting measurements and observations that seemed to defy the most basic laws of physics. The first major anomaly emerged from gravitational analysis, when Threeey Atlas zoomed past Mars on October 3rd at a distance of 18 million miles. A fleet of spacecraft maintained watch with clear lines of sight. NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter tracked the object alongside the European Space Agency's Mars Express and Trace Gas Orbiter. China's Tianwen-1 mission also observed from its vantage point. Scientists aimed to measure the orbital deflection caused by Mars's gravity, a problem so simple and fundamental that Isaac Newton could have solved it 3 centuries ago with basic mathematics. Then, reality began to warp. The resulting gravitational effects didn't match the predictions. With an observed size estimated to range from 3 to 29 meters, depending on assumptions about surface properties and composition, the resulting mass calculation yields approximately 33 billion tons. This mass equivalent equals more than 5,000 Great Pyramids of Giza. An object this massive passing close to Mars should have caused significant gravitational disturbances visible in the orbits of the red planet's moons and detectable in the guidance systems of the probes themselves. The gravitational force, however, was almost zero or completely undetectable. The scientific consequences are truly terrifying from a physics perspective. This isn't a small error or measurement uncertainty, but a direct blow to Einstein's general theory of relativity. According to relativity, mass must warp spacetime to create gravity. For gravity to disappear, mass must be nearly zero. Yet our telescopes still see a large object. This paradox raises difficult questions about the nature of what we're observing. Are we seeing a real object, or just a delicate projection of something else? Could this be matter of a kind that doesn't obey the known laws of gravity? For astrophysicists, the shock was comparable to watching a steel cannonball and a child's balloon experience the same gravitational force. It represents a tear in the foundation of our understanding of the relationship between mass and gravity, opening a window into bold hypotheses that had once been dismissed as laboratory conspiracy theories. This presented humanity with 2 challenging possibilities, both existing outside the boundaries of current understanding of physics and cosmology. The first possibility suggests Threeey Atlas was made of an exotic form of matter with unprecedentedly low density, lighter than artificial aerogel, as if completely negating what the periodic table had once claimed about matter's fundamental properties. The second, more terrifying possibility was that the object was essentially empty inside, with only a thin shell surrounding a void. What would a hollow comet mean for our understanding of natural formation? Comets form through the process of accretion, when dust and ice particles stick together with gravity, pulling them into a solid mass, just like squeezing snowflakes into a ball where matter becomes denser as it compresses. Natural processes cannot spontaneously form hollow structures. In the universe, uniformity in density is an inevitable characteristic of natural formation. However, Threeey Atlas violates that law as if it were not a product of nature, but of deliberate design. If nature didn't create a hollow object, then who or what did? A hollow structure suggests engineering, design, and purpose. Could Threeey Atlas be a means of transportation, a scout ship, or even a cosmic lighthouse sending signals through the centuries? This question isn't only conspiracy theory, but forces science to expand the concept of interstellar objects. Perhaps it's time to define a new class of unexplained interstellar objects where natural origin is no longer the default assumption. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, best known for his daring analysis suggesting Oumuamua might be extraterrestrial technology, has studied Threeey Atlas's rotation characteristics closely. His analysis found that its observed rotation rate is too slow for a solid object of its size, but simultaneously too stable for its estimated mass. The only way to reconcile these contradictory data points requires assuming that most of the mass inside has disappeared or never existed, creating a perfect cavity. These findings represent just the beginning of the unexplainable phenomena surrounding this object. The second anomaly sent shivers down the spines of scientists worldwide. Threeey Atlas is slowing down. This deceleration, while seemingly minor in absolute terms, represents a stab at the heart of classical physics. A natural comet approaching the Sun follows a simple rule known for hundreds of years. Heat from the Sun causes ice on the comet's surface to sublimate, releasing gas into space. These gas jets create thrust, like thousands of tiny thrusters that accelerate the object as it moves away from the Sun. It's pure Keplerian physics, proven by countless observations over centuries. Oumuamua, the first interstellar object ever discovered, sparked heated debate when it accelerated erratically without any signs of outgassing. The question of its invisible propulsion mechanism remains an unsolved mystery, but at least Oumuamua accelerated in the right direction, following the direction of the Sun's radiation pressure. Threeey Atlas does the exact opposite. Between September 23 and 26, independent data streams from multiple sources all pointed to the same conclusion. The James Webb Space Telescope recorded measurements that aligned with ground radar observations. Doppler measurements from Mars probes confirmed the same result. Threeey Atlas's velocity relative to the Sun had decreased from 42.4 kilometers per second to 42.2 kilometers per second. It may sound like a small number, only 0.2 kilometers per second. But in the world of celestial mechanics, that represents a huge deviation, a fluctuation that cannot be attributed to instrument error. Moreover, the change isn't random, but has direction, trend, and duration, long enough to rule out any possibility of measurement error or statistical noise. No known natural mechanism can cause an object to slow down in empty space like this. Solar radiation can only push objects away, not slow them down. Escaping gas can only create thrust, not act as a brake. Gravity only pulls inward, accelerating objects, not slowing them. So what is slowing Threeey Atlas? This question opens up a whole new abyss of doubt. Is it being influenced by some kind of control technology? Some kind of propulsion system that humans have never imagined? Or is this the first evidence of a previously undocumented form of physical interaction? A new force in the universe, one that lies beyond the realm of relativity and quantum mechanics. Whatever the explanation, Threeey Atlas seems to be no ordinary interstellar visitor. It's behaving like a purposeful object navigating its own course. And if that's true, then humanity may be witnessing a first in history. An object that not only came from interstellar space, but also came for a reason. Let's examine the possibilities, each opening deeper layers of mystery where the line between science and the unthinkable begins to blur. The first hypothesis suggests Threeey Atlas could carry a structure similar to a solar sail but operating in reverse. Instead of using photon pressure from the sun to accelerate, it would be designed to create drag, slowing its motion like a giant parachute in space. To accomplish this, the object would have to maintain an absolutely precise angle to the direction of sunlight, requiring extraordinary stability in orientation. What's amazing is that spectroscopic measurements show Threeey Atlas's surface is unusually highly reflective, with a mirror-like shine completely unlike the dark dust typical of ordinary comets. The problem is natural objects cannot maintain such stability. They spin chaotically due to micrometeorite impacts and uneven gravitational forces from planets and moons they pass. But Threeey Atlas spins with what has been described as clockwork precision, holding its orientation perfectly throughout its journey. It's almost impossible for an object that has drifted for millions of years in interstellar space to maintain such precise rotation. It's like finding a spinning top standing upright in a storm. The stability is reminiscent of attitude control technology that humans have only seen on spacecraft. It doesn't just spin, it appears to control its own rotation with purpose and precision. The second theory suggests there may be an active propulsion system that we haven't yet recognized. It could be advanced electromagnetic or ion propulsion technology generating force of movement without leaving a detectable exhaust trail. Some observers have noted a faint green glow around Threeey Atlas's nucleus, a possible sign of ionized plasma, the kind of energy signature used in advanced propulsion reactions. But this raises a key question about power sources. What energy system could power propulsion so powerful that it could change the velocity of a massive object and keep it running for millennia in the cold depths of space? No natural mechanism from nuclear reactions to magnetic energy could provide such steady, long-lasting power. The energy requirements alone challenge our understanding of what's possible. The final possibility is even more extraordinary. Threeey Atlas may be using planetary gravity to adjust its orbit, a tactic humans call gravitational assist, but executed at a terrifyingly sophisticated level. After its flyby of Mars on October 3rd, its velocity changed intentionally. More significantly, Threeey Atlas's predicted trajectory will pass very close to Venus in early 2025 and possibly approach Jupiter in March 2026. Statistical analysis suggests that the probability of this sequence occurring purely by chance is less than 1 in 50,000. That's equivalent to flipping a coin 15 times in a row and getting the same result every time. Those numbers are no longer coincidence. They suggest calculation, a predetermined path carefully plotted through our solar system. All three hypotheses, whether solar sails, invisible dynamics, or gravitational correction, lead to the same terrifying conclusion. Threeey Atlas is not a random asteroid. It's behaving as a willful entity, braking, steering, and seemingly trying to stay in our solar system longer for purposes that so far no one has dared to confirm officially. This brings us to perhaps the most worrying part of the entire Threeey Atlas story: the institutional silence. Shortly after the object's closest approach to Mars on October 3rd, the detailed data that the global scientific community had been waiting for suddenly disappeared from public view. NASA, which had been preparing for the observation for months, suddenly announced that data would be delayed due to a government shutdown, an administrative event that occurred just 2 days before the flyby, halting all official communications just as history was being made. The European Space Agency said results were still in process, while the Chinese Space Agency, which usually releases images from Tianwen-1 within days, went completely silent this time, with no comment, not a single frame shared. The scary thing is that this pattern is not new. When Oumuamua appeared in 2017, the release of crucial radar measurements and spectroscopic data was delayed for months. When Borisov passed through in 2019, history repeated itself with the same vague technical problems cited. And now, with Threeey Atlas, the cycle of silence continues with an incredibly smooth repetition. In an age where information can spread globally in seconds, silence becomes a form of message. It's not simply an absence of data, but a deliberate choice. A whisper muffled in space sent through its silence. That's what keeps many researchers up at night. If there's nothing to hide, why the need for global coordinated silence? Then, on October 29th, Threeey Atlas reached perihelion, its closest approach to the Sun at a distance of about 1.36 astronomical units, right in the orbit of Mars. This was the time when it was most exposed to heat and radiation during its entire journey through our solar system. But ironically, at that crucial moment, Earth was positioned on the opposite side of the Sun. All of our most powerful telescopes, including James Webb, were blinded, unable to observe. A data gap of weeks was created, as if someone had pulled a curtain over the middle of a movie we were watching. It was during this blind period that something could have happened and been completely hidden from human sight. By nature, a comet that reaches perihelion has only two possibilities. Either it breaks apart from the immense thermal stress, or it explodes brilliantly with a bright tail millions of kilometers long as its volatile components boil away. But when Threeey Atlas reappeared from behind the Sun in late November 2024, it was perfectly intact. There was no sign of disintegration, no loss of mass. Not a single fragment was recorded. For an object thought to be made of loose ice and dust, this survival defies all known models of physics. Natural comets are extremely fragile structures. Even small temperature changes are enough to cause them to explode. A hollow object traveling at more than 124,000 miles per hour should have been torn apart as the ice and dust inside expanded under the heat of the Sun. Yet Threeey Atlas not only survived, but returned intact as if it had never been touched by solar radiation. This was no mere coincidence. It felt like a successful experiment, a test of durability, a sign of technology, or perhaps chilling proof that this object was more than just a comet. Avi Loeb has now proposed an even bolder theory, though it remains unconfirmed speculation. In a recent paper, he suggested that Threeey Atlas could be a giant cargo ship carrying a host of smaller objects, hidden in its hollow interior. Loeb likened it to a cosmic dandelion scattering seeds into space, suggesting that Threeey Atlas could be a mothership designed to deploy small probes at the most opportune moments on their journey through the solar system. And if so, then perihelion, when hidden from all human observational instruments, would be the perfect opportunity to release those seeds unseen. Stop and consider the chilling implications of this hypothesis. If smaller objects were indeed launched during that blind phase, they could be silently moving throughout the solar system on orbits that astronomers cannot predict, for purposes that humanity cannot yet understand. Every celestial body, every region of space that we once thought empty, could now harbour silent strangers released from that very interstellar dandelion. Project Galileo, led by Professor Loeb, is now specifically scanning the skies with its multispectral sensor system to look for any unusual phenomena. If in the coming months strange objects or signals beyond conventional explanation appear, with timing coinciding with Threeey Atlas's perihelion, it will be a serious matter. All evidence would point in one direction. We are not alone. So where does humanity stand in this story? We're dealing with an object from outside our solar system that defies every fundamental law of physics. It's hollow where it should be solid. It slows down where it should be accelerating. Its orbit bears the marks of deliberate navigation, not the result of chance. Its structure shows unnatural engineering. And more frighteningly, the organizations responsible for protecting our skies are mysteriously silent at a time when humanity needs answers most. But rather than panic, Loeb and many other pioneering scientists see this as an invitation, not a warning. They view it as an invitation for humanity to rewrite the foundations of its understanding of the universe. Every anomaly is a message. Every puzzling phenomenon is an unasked question. Perhaps Threeey Atlas is the first big test the universe has sent to Earth civilization to see if we're ready to ask the right questions. Threeey Atlas will continue its journey through the solar system through 2025 and beyond. It flew within 167 million miles of Earth on December 19th and is scheduled for a close encounter with Jupiter in March 2026, a perfect opportunity to test the theory of gravitational manipulation. The European Space Agency's JUICE mission will be there to observe, carrying with it the hopes and fears of humanity. Unlike Oumuamua, which vanished before we could understand it, Threeey Atlas is still here. It gives us time, data, and the opportunity to explore one of the greatest mysteries of our time. The question it leaves hanging in the universe remains: are we observing an object or an intention? Whether Threeey Atlas is ultimately proven to be a strange natural phenomenon or something much deeper, its appearance marks an astonishing milestone in the history of human thought. This object has forced us to confront the very limits of our own perception with possibilities that we previously only dared to confine to the pages of science fiction novels. It has made us realize that the universe is not obliged to operate according to our logic or beliefs. Occasionally, the cosmos sends a silent messenger from the depths of space just to remind us that the greatest discoveries lie not in easy answers, but in questions that make us doubt the very things we once believed to be certain. Perhaps that's the true identity of Threeey Atlas. Not the end of a mystery, but the beginning of a new chapter in the journey of human consciousness. A chapter that opens dialogue between human intelligence and the great silence of the cosmos. A conversation not with words, but with the slow, elegant dance of celestial bodies against the infinite backdrop of space and time. Some researchers in the Galileo project have put forward the bold hypothesis that if Threeey Atlas is indeed an alien mothership, then its behavior of slowing down, stabilizing rotation, moving purposefully, and surviving perihelion can all be explained as a series of control maneuvers. Perihelion, when it temporarily disappears from human view, may be a moment of activation or deployment. And if it's an artificial messenger, then the silence of space agencies is no longer mere coincidence, but may reflect an attempt to control information about what humanity is not yet ready to know. The lesson this interstellar visitor leaves us is simple but profound. Never stop asking questions. The greatest barrier to truth is not the distance of the stars, but the prison of certainty in our own minds. Threeey Atlas reminds us to stay curious, to doubt the official story, and to have the courage to admit that perhaps we're only just beginning to understand our place in this vast universe. The mystery of Threeey Atlas is still being revealed bit by bit, like puzzle pieces falling from the sky. The data continues to accumulate, each observation adding another layer to an already complex picture. What we know challenges physics. What we don't know may challenge everything else.